Hi everyone, welcome back to Java 1 for All. In this video we are going to talk about the type scroll insensitive, and we are going to see how we can play a little bit with our result set. For that, make sure that you have your Docker engine running, make sure that you have Docker Compose also running, and go now to your producer repository and copy you can copy this show result set metadata. Ctrl C all the way to the end, Ctrl V, and let's call it show type scroll working. Yeah, we just need to check it out how it works. So the first thing we are going to do is wipe all this data. And now when we are creating the statement, we have to tell what kind of type scroll we want. By default, I'm not sure which one. I think, yeah, by default it will be type forward, but we want the insensitive, and we have to tell also the concurrency. So here, concurrency, concur updatable. Cool. Now, when we create this statement, we will have the type scroll to insensitive. And let's play around a little bit. So let's create here some logs. So log.info. Let's say that we would like to go to the last, directly to the last row. Last row. I'm going to add inside the log because it will actually move the cursor. So result set dot last. It returns boolean if it was able to move to last or not. And then I'm going to press Ctrl D and row number just to check it out what's the row number. And then I'm going to print the data. I'm going to copy the builder from here, and I'm going to add the builder right here. So I will remove all this data and I will just add the builder in line. Cool, let's check it out. Shift F10. Actually, we forgot to do a lot of stuff. Let's go to producer service, duplicate, and then like this. And I'll go to connection factory, Ctrl D, show type scroll working. Now Shift F10. Okay, as you can see, we have the last row true. Row number, I completely forgot to get the row. I think it's get row. And we can see that the last is the studio Dean. Now it's only the last because of how the data is coming back from our query. If you order by, for example, I want to order by name descending, the result set will be different. If you execute now, Shift F10, the last one will be Madhouse. So we are ordering by the name descending. So the first became the last. Okay, so what's important for you to pay attention here? That you are actually moving the cursor. It's not like you are just retrieving the data from the last row. Actually, you have a cursor, and this cursor is actually moving all the way to the last position. Now, if you type next, you are going to this last position here. But before we do that, how can we go back to the first one? So let's copy this. And let's actually add log here with some separator. And now Ctrl C to go to the first row. As you go to the last, just type first. Shift F10. So as you can see, the first row is Madhouse because now we are using the select like we have it here. So as you can see, the first row is Madhouse. Now, what if we would like to go to a specific row? Like I just want to go to the second row. Well, you can do that using the absolute. Now, the absolute, as the name implies, gets a row number. And let's say I want to go to the second row. By the way, rows, they start with 1, the index. Shift F10. And now we have the cursor in the second row. And that is another cool method. That's the relative. The relative allows you to move either up or down. For example, I am at the second row, and now I would like to go back one. So -1, Shift F10. I was at the second row, and now I am at the first row. What happens if you put something that will break your code? Well, of course, you are going to get a nice exception. So -1. So what if you want to check, for example, if the rows you are at the last row or you are at the first row without actually moving? You have is last row. So basically we have is last, and we also have the is after last. I'm going to explain the difference. So we have is last, and we have here is first, and we have is before first. So Shift F10, not Control Shift F10. As you can see, is last false because we are at the first row, and is first, yes, true. Now, what if you want to go to the last row and then you want to go from top up, actually from bottom up? How can we do that? First, you go to the last row. So we have here in the beginning last row. Let me copy these two. So I'm going to the last row, and after I reach the last row, what I'm going to do, while result set previous. So basically I'm going back all the way, and I will copy this to print the producer. But we will have a problem here, as you are going to see. So as you can see, we are starting with NHK and then Madhouse, but where is our last one? Basically, the last one is Studio Dean, and we are not seeing it there. Why is that? Because we are starting right here. We are saying, okay, we are at the last row, and then when we start the while, we are asking for the previous. So basically, the while is starting right here. So after you reach the last row, you can go one more. So basically, you can go directly after last, or you can go next. So here, let's do the following. Let's go after last, and then we change here after last row. Shift F10. Oops. After last, it returns void. So let's do the following. We have last, and then rs dot after last, and then Shift F10. And now we have everything because our cursor was right here before we start asking for the previous data. So basically, as you can see, we can play around with this result set, going up, down, bottom up, or going to a specific position, and from there you use the relative to figure out where you are gonna go. Cool, so I think that's everything. Let's continue in the next video with more information about how we can work with result set, but this time updating the data. So see you in the next video. Bye bye.